Hey, welcome to It's Factor Football. Let's take a look at the incoming third round rookies and how they might impact fantasy football this year. Starting with quarterback Carson Beck, Arizona Cardinals. Beck enters an interesting situation in Arizona where he will most likely see some starts this season. Am I excited about that for fantasy? Not really. Jacoby Brissett put up some big numbers last year, but I don't expect Beck to repeat that. I have Beck as a QB3 for now. Next, tight end Sam Roush, Chicago Bears. He was drafted mostly for his blocking ability. In redraft, I'm not interested. Next, wide receiver Antonio Williams, Washington Commanders. Williams was an interesting draft prospect with flashes of athletic ability and production, but it wasn't consistent. The only competition in his way is Terry McLaurin. In redraft, Williams is probably a wide receiver 4 or 5, but I'm very intrigued. Next, tight end Oscar Delp, New Orleans Saints. Delp is a fun prospect who will be used in the receiving game, but he's behind Jawan Johnson for now, so it's hard to get too excited about him in redraft. Next, wide receiver Malachi Fields, New York Giants. With Neighbors possibly being slow to start the season, there's opportunity for Fields, but I personally wasn't the highest on him. There is deep sleeper potential, but I don't know that I'm in on it. Next, wide receiver Caleb Douglas, Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins doubled up at wide receiver in round 3, and I actually like their later pick better, which we'll get to soon. Next, quarterback Drew Aller, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have a logjam at quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers, and Aller is still recovering from an injury. I don't see any fantasy value in redraft this year. Wide receiver Zachariah Branch, Atlanta Falcons. Branch slipped in the draft a little bit, but may just be the wide receiver 2 for the Falcons, right beside Drake London. I assume Atlanta plans on scheming up touches with quick hitters and screens, maybe even out of the backfield and in the return game. There's some potential here. Next, wide receiver Jacoby Lane, Baltimore Ravens. He's a tall wide receiver, and there are some opportunities in Baltimore. I just never really understand their passing offense and how much you can count on besides Zay Flowers or Mark Andrews. Wide receiver Chris Brazzell II, Carolina Panthers. He's a fun height, weight, speed prospect who should fill the deep threat role in Carolina, playing behind Tedero McMillan and Jalen Coker. I don't see any fantasy value in redraft this year. Wide receiver Ted Hurst, Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks have plenty of pass catchers, and Hurst may need some development. I'm not drafting him this year. Tight end Will Kachmarek, Miami Dolphins. He goes to a Dolphins team in need of pass catchers, but he projects mostly as a blocker. Xavier Thomas, Chicago Bears. He can fly. He ran a 4.28 40 at the combine, but finds himself behind Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland. Thomas will be utilized all over the field, but I don't expect to see enough meaningful volume for fantasy this season in redraft. Next, running back Kalen Black, San Francisco 49ers. This pick was a surprise to many. He sure seems like the hand-picked handcuff to CMC, and that's all I see his value being this year. All right, wide receiver Chris Bell, Miami Dolphins. Now, here's a pick I'm excited about. Bell is recovering from a serious injury, but there was first round buzz on him. He's one of my favorite deep sleepers so far. Tight end Eli Raridan, New England Patriots. He was on my sleepers list for the NFL draft, and he finds himself in a decent situation. He'll most likely play second fiddle to Hunter Henry for a year or two, so not much fantasy value right away. Well, there's definitely some intriguing players here, more so as sleeper candidates, but who do you like from this list? This has been It's Factor Football. Thanks for watching.